Today it seems that Islamic terrorists want nothing more than to kill American citizens and military personnel. But why should this be so? Why do they hate us so much? After all, we only want to help others achieve freedom and democracy. Why should anyone hate us for this? Here in America, politicians like to say that terrorists are from impoverished societies, and the reason for their hostility is that they envy our wealth. Or they say that terrorists and their backers hate our freedom. These answers might seem to make sense to many Americans, but they don't stand up to examination. Some of the most widely publicized terrorist attacks of recent times were carried out by individuals who are far from poor. The would-be Christmas Day airline bomber, for example, was from a wealthy family. The suicide bomber who killed 8 CIA people in Afghanistan was a doctor from Jordan. And Osama bin Laden, perhaps the world's most infamous terrorist, is from an extremely wealthy family. It's unlikely that any of these men ever envied the wealth of ordinary Americans. As for terrorists hating freedom, their side of the argument is that it is the United States, along with Israel, who deny freedom to the poor and oppressed people of the world. They claim that it is they who are truly pro-freedom. If wealth and freedom are not really the issues, then what is? What motivates terrorists to murder innocent people? And why would anybody provide these killers with aid and support? Why are they not seen by all people as the vicious murderers that they are? Actually, far from being seen as murderous cowards, as they are usually portrayed in the Western media, Islamic terrorists are often seen as heroes by other Muslims. The family of the suicide bomber who killed the CIA people in Afghanistan say that they are proud of him. Osama bin Laden is still popular in much of the Islamic world. Many people name their children after him. Fighting terrorists is going to be an uphill battle as long as the terrorists receive such widespread support. But why do people support them? And what can be done about it? What we are dealing with is a basic component of human nature which could be described as tribalism. Humans evolved as a social species. The main advantage of being social is that the group is stronger than the individual. Why is it so important to be strong? It's because the natural world in which all species, including humans, evolved is highly competitive. All individuals must compete for resources, but competition among adult males is especially stringent because males must compete for mates. Thus, the inherent competitiveness of sexual reproduction has much to do with human sociability. A powerful group of cooperative males could acquire and hold females, but a male on his own could not. To be sure, sociability can provide other advantages. For example, a group can defend its members from dangerous predators. In the pursuit of large prey, group hunting may be more practical than hunting alone. But the main reason to form very large groups, as human beings typically do, is to compete against other large groups. Sociability is humankind's characteristic means of competing. As such, tribalism is in our genes. It powerfully governs the way people react to each other. This is why murderous terrorists receive widespread respect among Muslims, while the United States is hated, even though our stated goal is merely to bring peace, freedom, and democracy to other peoples. Our ideals mean little to them. The only thing that matters is whose side you're on. You're either one of us or one of them. If a group is to be strong, it needs to include powerful, courageous fighters. These may be strong young men, or they may be older, experienced war leaders. Because they are so important to group strength, these powerful individuals get the most respect and the largest share of the resources. That is, if they survive intergroup hostilities. Of course, many terrorists don't survive. Obviously, those who carry out suicide attacks don't survive, but they are convinced that God will provide them with ample rewards in the afterlife. It is assumed that the suicide bomber will go directly to heaven, where he will enjoy the high status and respect due to a great soldier or warrior. Thus, it's still all about tribalism. If you kill the enemy, you've done what you're supposed to do for your society. You are good. You deserve high praise and high status. While killing the enemy is a good thing, the worst thing a person could do is switch sides and fight for the enemy group. A person should never go against his family, friends, and allies. This is exactly counter to the tribal instinct. Such behavior is unthinkable to most people. If a person did act this way, he would receive the opposite of respect. He would be hated and shamed. If he is ever captured by his former allies, the traitor would be severely punished, probably killed. In some Islamic countries, apostasy, that is, abandoning Islam in favor of another religion, is punishable by death. Notice that the apostate is treated the same as a traitor. This demonstrates the powerful influence of tribalism on their religious beliefs. People who think this way will not accept the concept of religious freedom. You are either a Muslim and on the side of God, or you're an enemy on the side of evil. This tribal nature of the human species is not taken into account in American foreign policy, which is why our leaders continue to make the same mistakes over and over. We may indeed have the best form of government on earth, as well as the most advanced culture. And we may have nothing but good intentions, but this does not win the day in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, or even Vietnam. To people that live in these places, all that matters is that we are the foreign invaders. We are the bad guys, and anyone who fights against us, even the most violent terrorist, is a hero. On the other hand, anyone who takes our side is seen as a traitor. We often see our supporters end up being brutally murdered, and we wonder why anybody would commit such a horrible act against someone who is pro-democracy and pro-American. Now you know, this behavior just reflects the tribal nature of humankind. There's nothing wrong with trying to spread the ideals of freedom, democracy, and the market economy. However, doing so at the point of a gun will always be exceedingly difficult, expensive, and dangerous. We Americans have to start being more realistic in our expectations and policy. We need to stop being deceived and misled by overly ambitious politicians. We can't afford to be led into another foreign quagmire, so don't let them take advantage of your emotions. Instead, you should acquire a good understanding of human nature so you know what's really going on in the world. To accomplish this, you should read the valuable new book, Sex, Sin, and Science, What Evolution Says About Religion and Desire. The book is authored by myself, C. Roland Cook. On sale now at www.crolandcook.com. Also available from Amazon.